That hurts like a mother.
Alright, guys, so as you all know, whatchamacallit, Love, Death, and Robots Volume 2 came out last night. I binged the fuck out of it. And I just gotta get this off my chest. Off this chest right here. I give it 2 middle fingers down. I'm gonna try to make this video short and brief about what I thought of it. I want to make another video of like a tier list of all the 8 episodes, so I'm not really gonna. I'm gonna probably have some spoilers, but I'm not gonna like dive deep into each episode. I'm just gonna briefly skim through them. Basically, I am disappointed. I was underwhelmed with Volume 2. I just watched their AMA with Tim Miller, and I forgot the what was the lady's name? Jennifer something. Let me see. Jennifer Yu Nelson, I believe is how you pronounce it. Yeah, I'm actually gonna upload the AMA on my channel. There's a lot of interesting things they talk about regarding how they make how production goes. I really highly recommend you guys watch it. There's some interesting things they talk about, like how COVID didn't really affect the production of Volume 2. And how Volume 2 and 3 were actually supposed to be like one volume, but they split it up so that they could release the 8 episodes this year, and then I guess 8 more next year, instead of waiting for all like 16 for next year. So yeah, I recommend watching those. But back to Volume 2. Why am I disappointed? I think I've been going through the Reddit of the subreddit for Love, Death, and Robots Season 2 Volume 2, and there's a mixed reception. As always, there's always a mixed reception. A lot of people are disappointed like me. I'm on that camp of disappointment, and it's really hard to gauge because Season 1 Volume 1 was just so fucking good. It just set the standard, I feel like, so high up that you expect every next volume to be just as good. I didn't expect Volume 2 to be better than Volume 1, because Volume 1 was just fucking godly amazing. Which I'm not saying Volume 1 was perfect. There were a few episodes that I was like, I didn't really give a shit about. I don't really care. I wasn't a huge fan of like Ice Age, I believe it's called, with the live action Topher Grace. I wasn't a huge fan of that. Altered History or whatever it's called, I wasn't a huge fan of that one. And there was one more I forgot the title of. There were at least 3 that I wasn't a huge fan of. But yeah, Volume 1 wasn't perfect, but there were so many good episodes that I was expecting them to kind of build off of those really good episodes. And I'm sure they know which episodes are really popular, because they could track which episodes are like watched the most, like rewatched over and over again. Like I've rewatched my favorite episodes over and over, like multiple times now. So they know which ones are the popular episodes. So I expect them to like kind of ride that wave, but they really didn't with this season, unfortunately. Why is it disappointing? Basically, 8 episodes is not enough. I guess if they included all 18 or both seasons 2 and 3 together, maybe I wouldn't feel this way. Maybe 10 of those I would love, and then the other 10 or 8 I probably wouldn't like as much, which is kind of the way it is with Volume 1, right? But I feel like they chose like 8 of the worst stories, or 8 of the worst ones, and saved probably the 8 best ones for next year. And the reason why is because, okay, we're getting into a little spoiler territory here, but 2 of the 8 episodes features, like, the main story is about a killer robot. Like, come on now, two of the 8, there's only 8, and 2 of them are about a killer robot. That's already saturated, in my opinion. They need to be a little bit more variety in that. What else was disappointing? There were no 2D episodes. They were all CGI 3D. There was one called Ice. That one is, I believe, made by the same studio who made Zima Blue. The art style is, I like that art style, but it's not like the traditional 2D I like Sucker of Souls with a vampire, and what was the other one? Good Hunting. That's the kind of 2D I love, and there was none of that at all, which was really disappointing. What else? There was no funny episode like three robots. But good news is that they did confirm in the AMA, they confirmed that 3 robots will have a sequel episode in volume 3. I'm really happy to hear that, because that's an S tier episode for me. So looking forward to that. Let's see. Most of the episodes were about, like, I want to say 10-ish minutes, but it does not make up for the lack of episodes. So that was a little disappointing. It just doesn't make up for it. And I think the biggest gripe I have with volume 2 is that if you compare it to the best episodes of volume 1, none of them really, for me at least, personally, none of them provide a lasting impression. And what I mean by that is that none of them are really like mind-fucking, mind-blowing. None of them have really any twist at the end. And most of the, I think 7 out of 8 episodes, the stories all conclude within like the same day. None of them last throughout days or weeks except for one, which is the Drowned Giant. So since every story is like really compact in a way that there's not much you could build off of, since they all conclude within the same day or within minutes that they are told in. Unlike, what's a good example? Like, I mean, Good Hunting, that takes several years in the span of the story. What's the one with the army guys? There's a good handful of stories in volume 1 that span throughout more than one day. So with the lack of that, the stories don't have a lasting impression at all. The only one I really loved was Pop Squad, and that's the one with the overpopulation story. That one was probably the only one I would probably give an S tier to. And my second favorite would be The Snow and Desert. That was a really cool concept, but like they never really finished their journey. It kind of cuts off halfway. A lot of these episodes are like, I want to say half baked, or like they introduce this really cool concept, but they never really finish the story. And like, I know volume 1 where a lot of the episodes were also ambiguous and like didn't really finish the story, but the way they end is much better compared to these episodes from volume 2. A lot of them just like really give off little hints that leaves you wanting way more compared to volume 1. So yeah, overall, huge disappointment for me. But part of that, like I said, is probably because volume 1 set the standard so fucking high. Like, it's probably almost impossible to replicate that now I'm just mumbling. Mumble rap. No, fuck mumble rap, no offense. Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to replicate that standard. That's probably where they're gonna peak. But I mean, we'll have to wait till volume 3 to see if they get that mojo back, because yeah, like I said, man, huge disappointment. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of Volume 2. So overall for Love, Death and Robots Volume 2, my score is going to be a whopping C+.